Welcome back, kids and kittens, daddy-os and dolls. I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I do when I'm detailing a motor, and kind of take you along with all this stuff. There's a million ways of doing these things, but these are my ways of doing it. And if you can get something to help simplify what you're doing or make it easier and quicker or whatever, right on, man. That's what it's all about. I'm going to go through showing how I make an air cleaner, and what I have done. So let's get rolling. So what I have here is a couple of examples of what I like to do. So this is from a model kit, probably, I don't know. I have no idea what it's from. However, what I like about it is the top, and then I like the air filter. We can do something with that. Now, we have these ones on the market that are available. I believe this is Mr. Model, which I highly recommend his stuff. It needs a little tweaking here and there. As you can see, the screen's a little long and needs to be fixed, but overall it's really cool looking and it looks great on a model. And if you're, you dig gluing that on and all that, hey, right on. I think it looks great. My problem is you got it. There's no hole in the bottom of it. There is no three-piece design or any of that stuff to separate the parts so you can paint them up and make them look really cool and real. So what I've done is, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just take like the air filter and I will take a saw and I'll just trace along here and scribe it until I am all the way through it, and I cut it completely off. That way, following this line right here, I have a nice cool top that's different from the Mr. Model or the Parts by Parks or any of the other machined aluminum ones out there. So what I've done with this model is I have these VCG resin carburetors, and it came with these kick butt little air cleaners. Really dig the top on it. It looks like just your regular run-of-the-mill, but it's smooth and cool and got a great look to it. And plus that air filter has all the lines in it. So what I've done is I separated it. So here's my top, and I flattened out the bottom, and then apparently lost the other part of it that I've been working on. Oh, it's in this right here. And so I've been taking this, which is the air filter, and I've been scribing back through all these little lines with this is one of them Tamiya micro saws, and it's the thinnest one I have. And this resin stuff too is extremely easy to cut, and it cuts real quick. However, the dust and everything that goes with it, you do not want to breathe that stuff in, so you want to kind of keep that under control. And if you're doing a lot of cutting with this stuff, I'd use one of them COVID masks that we all still have lying around, just to keep that crap out of your lungs. You don't want to breathe that stuff in, and I'm sure it's not good for anyone. But I'll go through and I'll trim all these in, and then when I go to paint it, I'm going to paint it mostly black, but then I'll do all the edges red and try to make it look like one of them oil filter or K&N filters that you put the oil in. Give it that look. I'll do the alclad for the top, and then for the bottom, what I've done is I've taken a piece of aluminum tubing, and this is K&S, and I believe it's 7/32 in diameter, or no, it's 5/16, and it's 7/32 on the inside, like there. I don't know. I don't even know where the camera is. There it is. Let's see. I think it's more of 7/32. I'm pretty sure. Or it's right in there. But the whole point is it'll fit right over everything that's in there. And then it's also got enough thickness and material for me to sculpt it. And so I take my cordless DeWalt lathe, haha. And I've ran it down to where I can use my saw blade, my thicker one, do a perfect line on there, and then I get it flush to the top of the chuck jaws, and even just a little bit more over that line, but that gives me a perfectly straight line all the way around on this, and it's got a little width to it, so I can sink it in a little bit, and then I can take a file, not that one, I can take one of the thinner jeweler files that have teeth along the side, and then I can just carve it out and work it until I get it to the right diameter on there, and then I end up with something like this. If you can see that, let me zoom in. Bam, just like that. So I end up with something that's stepped like that, and what that's for is it goes right on top of the carburetor, and as you can see, it fits the neck of the carburetor, but it's also sticking out a little bit. And then I can run a needle or something a little bit smaller than a needle but rigid for my stud down the center and drill a hole in it and make a wing nut and everything. Put in my filter and have my topper. And what's cool about it is they're all separate, so the coloring, you know, when I go to paint it all up, is going to be just really crisp and clean. And so that's how I approach making an air filter. When I get to making the wing nut, I'll show you how I do that, and that's kind of a cool little trick. What I forgot to add is, if you don't want to go through the crazy, run the risk of maybe triggering all them voices again by going through and sawing out each individual line on an air filter, you can, you know, take a piece of evergreen tubing that's, you know, the right diameter of whatever size you're looking for, and in this case it would be this one. You can cut that tubing, it is smaller than the base itself, and still have your top. Cut that, paint it black, and then I found this stuff from K&S, and it's like little diamond pattern, but they have squares, they have larger holes and smaller holes. Oh, did I say hose? They got all kinds of hose. Every man needs all kinds of hose. No, that's not true. Nobody wants that. You can then cut your strip to the width that you need, and then just wrap it around there, and you end up with probably a better looking air cleaner than that. But it's also going to have a hole in it, and it's also going to fit nice and tight. And then you have that sweet satisfaction of, I just about lost my mind trying to make an air cleaner. Why the hell did I do that? That is $1 million question.